The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
This is the Paltalk News Network.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet, with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on Blip TV and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, no retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to 12 million additional households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. If you are listening on CRN Digital Talk Radio or via one of our many fine internet radio affiliates and you want to join in on this conversation, go to joinchatnow.com. Joinchatnow.com. It's free, and you will be miraculously transported into our virtual auditorium here on paltalk.com, so you can support or berate me and my guest. Before I introduce the good-looking gentleman to my right, your left, for those of you who are just joining us from our affiliate base, we were just listening live here on the Paltalk News Network to President Obama's post-nuclear summit news conference. That will be the topic the second half of the show. We may even squeeze in a few comments as well about the Israeli government telling all Israeli citizens to leave the Sinai because they have received word of a terrorist attack imminent targeting Israelis. Will that conflict never, ever end? Probably not in my lifetime, unfortunately. But as promised, the good-looking young man, his name is Ryan Huling, H-U-R-L-I-N-G, correct?
H-U-L-I-N-G, but
H-U-L-I-N-G.
Yep, Huling.
Huling. Okay, because you're not hurling anything.
Not today, no.
Not today. Ryan is with PETA, it's actually the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals.
Exactly.
In spite of some of the acronyms that we have seen here on the show. Now, one of the things that PETA is calling for, and by the way, I know you ladies are happy to see Ryan here, but I have to tell you, Ryan, I'm a little bit disappointed because the one action that I like that PETA takes the most is they get hot-looking actresses to go around naked, saying, I'd rather be naked than wear fur.
And you get stuck with me.
I get stuck with you.
Where's the line?
Well, yeah. What's that? It's because Debbie booked this, not I. If I had booked it, it would have been one of the actresses for sure.
We'll get Pam Anderson in here next time.
Oh, yeah, well, Pamela Anderson. There you go. We have to keep abreast of what she's doing. But in all seriousness, PETA is on the front lines. Some people don't like your tactics, but you're on the front lines of trying to protect animals that they can't speak for themselves. And you would think, as I kind of joked before the beginning of the show during the warm-up, that calling for the shutting down of the Ringling Brothers circus would be un-American. And you know what? That is my initial knee-jerk reaction as well. But PETA has obtained some surreptitiously recorded video of an elephant handler training a guy to also be an elephant handler. Now, it's disturbing. And in fact, we are only going to show you a very short piece of this because the whole video is extremely disturbing. But I want you to see the first minute and a half or so of this. And you can go to the PETA website if you want to see the full video. And then we'll talk about how un-American it is for PETA to be calling for the closing down of the Ringling Brothers circus. So, Boaz Franco, if you could play the video now. Thank you.
Get on, lady. Tear that foot off. Sink it in his foot. Tear it off. Make him scream. Oh, good. He done real good. All right, let's go. Becky! Becky! Ah! right, Cub. Cub. Daddy, come here, Tracy, Cub. Don't touch him. Hurt him. Hurt him. Don't touch him. Make him scream. Ida. If you're scared to hurt him, don't come in his way.
If you're scared to hurt him, don't come in the barn. Are you kidding me?
It's outrageous, isn't it? And believe it or not, this actually isn't even the only time we've seen this kind of abuse. We did a more recent undercover investigation just last year, where we actually spent 7 months traveling with the Ringling Brother circus undercover and documenting standard cruelty, exactly like you see in the video there, of trainers beating elephants with metal bull hooks, whipping them, leaving them in chains for 95% of their lives, just to make them perform these confusing and completely unnatural tricks.
Well, the Ringling Brothers is a pretty well-established organization, and also well-established because I happen to be an aficionado of the Animal Planet network. And there are all these animal cop shows: Animal Cops Detroit, Animal Cops Houston, Animal Cops Miami. Today, when I walked around for my little constitution, the ASPCA, which has law enforcement, and most of them do now, humane societies or somebody in every environment. How come nobody's shut them down for this or arrested somebody for this kind of cruelty?
You know, it's incredibly difficult to actually get prosecution on this kind of abuse because the regulations are so vague. The laws that are in place for exotic species like elephants it's very difficult to get an actual prosecution. But thankfully, public opinion is turning on this company. The more that people see the video on circuses.com, we actually have a whole website now called ringlingbeatsanimals.com that broadcasts this footage and has all kinds of other fact sheets and information from USDA records. The time is coming for this circus to shut down, and people are really calling for it.
Well, Ringling Brothers has thumbed its nose at you, as it has in the past, and said, we're not even going to, basically their statement today said, we're not even going to honor your comments with any kind of a response. They don't deserve a response.
Well, there's nothing they can say. I mean, the video speaks for itself. People can watch it themselves. These are documented undercover investigations that have been months in the making. We're out there every single day, and these are routine cruelties. These are not isolated incidents like they would have you believe. This is standard practice because, the fact of the matter is that elephants, tigers, bears, other animals don't perform these kinds of unnatural tricks in the wild. Elephants don't stand on their hind legs. Bears don't ride tricycles. These kinds of acts that you see in circuses all around the world are completely unnatural to them. And they only do it because they've been beaten into submission behind the scenes.
But dogs were wolves at one time, and they evolved through domestication, and I can train a dog through love without scaring that dog one iota.
Sure.
Okay? Is it necessarily the only way to get these animals to perform this way is to be mean to them?
When we're talking about elephants and other exotic animals, it absolutely is. And animal behaviorists back this up as well. They say that these are animals who do not respect a smaller being like a human being unless they've been forced